All right, guys, welcome back to the shop. We're back in here today, gonna try to button up Trevor's some loose ends on Trevor's truck. So here's a little bit of what we're getting into today. Got old Destructo out here. He is making some last minute modifications to these aluminum seat brackets that we threw together. We also have the old laptop out here. We'll try to get these new tunes loaded up if I can figure them out. HP tuner is a little bit different than the EFI Live that I'm used to on the dad bod. The electric fans, we've got somewhat of a harness made up for them, and we got a switch for it and everything. We're gonna get these mounted up today on the radiator and try to work on getting that wired up. We've talked about some weight reduction things. We're gonna pop the fenders off and pop the hood off. We're gonna take all of these, I guess, bracing, gussets, whatever, steel supports under the hood. I'm gonna get rid of all of that. And then also the lower, I don't know what you call it, fender support, crash bar, whatever. We're gonna get rid of that. Gonna try to make up some new brackets to hold the fuse box here and the ABS module over there. Once we get all of that buttoned up, we're gonna, while I'm working on modifying this stuff, Trevor is gonna be mounting the seat brackets in. So once he gets the seat brackets in and mounted, then we're gonna go ahead and do the necessary modifications to the hood here to get the hood stack through there. And then we should be pretty close to getting ready to fire this thing up. So yeah, as the old timers would say, we're on the short roads now. We're getting pretty close. So we're gonna get to knocking out some of this last little bit of a list, and we'll touch base with y'all here in a little bit. All right, so got the fender off. What we're looking at doing is cutting right along here. So we'll lose this one fender bolt. That's not really a big deal. Got to make a new bracket or modify the bracket that I made here for the fuse box. Looks like the one for the ABS there will be able to just flip over and have the bolts behind this into the fender support, because we're going to cut somewhere, hadn't decided, probably right along in here. Cut that piece out and then just re-secure up this wiring for here for now. Trevor's got these brackets mounted up, and you happy with the placement? Yeah. So got to mark some bolt holes, and seat brackets on one side will be done anyways. So anyways, we'll keep nipping along. For pulling a fender, you guys hadn't done, it's pretty simple. You just pop the wiper cowl off. It's just 2 screws that are up here. You pop those 2 screws off and pop the wipers off, and then the wiper cowl will come right out. And then for the fenders, it's just a bunch of these fender bolts here. So 10mm head, I don't know what the thread pitch is on it, but anyways, pop those out and the fender pops right off. The passenger side's a little bit more aggravating because you've got the antenna in it, and they can be aggravating to get off, but not the end of the world. All right, so in our quest of weight reduction here, as I said, we cut the bracket, or I say the bracket, the fender support out of this side, the lower one, and just flipped the bracket that I had here around. We kind of scuffed it up a little bit, put a little new coat of paint on it. And this bracket here, I was able to just shift back, and I have it mounted to the back side here. So it still was able to reuse that same bracket as well. I was kind of concerned with how flimsy it may be, but while this side's off, I figured I'll show y'all, one, how much room there is, a whole lot nicer to work on, and 2, it's still extremely sturdy. She ain't going nowhere. So shed a few pounds, made it a little bit easier to work on, and got some stuff out of the way. So keep on knocking out the list.
Folks, don't do this at home. That's dumb.
All right, so the seats are in and mounted and bolted up. The only thing, we're gonna have to pull one of the bolts out, and we're probably gonna utilize the back inside bolt hole for the seat bolt latch. But anyways, both seats are in, and those lightweight brackets are pretty light, so we got some weight out of there. As I showed a minute ago, we got the fender supports are cut out and whatnot. Fan is in, and wire is ran. We don't actually have it wired up yet. And we filled it up with coolant, and we were going to test if the Haggard hole repair was going to do its job. And we started the truck, and we don't have a fuel pump. So for some reason, fuel pump's not coming on. We thought it was a relay issue. We replaced the relay last week, and it's still not cutting on. So we might mess with the wiring for a minute, or we might just say screw it. Since we got to wire up a toggle switch for the fans, go ahead and wire up a toggle switch for the fuel pump as well. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, so we are getting wrapped up for today. As you can tell, probably by all the sweat running off of me, it's extremely hot today. I don't know what the heat index is, but I think the temperature is up at like 94, 95, 96. I don't know, it's hot. So anyways, pretty much gave an update earlier as to where we were at on the truck. So last time we ran the truck, we had an issue. Couldn't get a fuel pump to come on. So we jumped across it just to get it running. Got the truck started, truck ran fine, whatever. Well, today we go to start the truck and we have no fuel pump. So we start troubleshooting all of that, and we found, long story short, there was an issue with the harness. So we had a harness from a 6.0 that's also a pump off of a 6.0. We got it just ran temporarily on the outside of the truck to try to rule everything out, and the truck started. So anyways, in case you were wondering, you can make a 6-liter air dog kit work on a Cummins. All of that aside, we have the fans in. We have pretty much everything on the engine side buttoned up. We took a little more weight out of the truck, and yeah, so pretty much where we are. As you saw, we still have a fuel leak. We changed the fuel line thinking it was an issue at the end of the fitting on the fuel line, and that didn't fix the problem. So I don't know if there's an issue with the nut going on the feed tube that's not allowing it to seal all the way, or if it's actually a feed tube issue. We did install new ones with the new injectors, but it's still leaking. We've unseated and reseated several times, and it's not sealing up. So anyways, we're gonna pull that out tomorrow and see if there's an issue there. Also gonna rerun the wiring harness for the air dog, get all that hooked up, so that'll be said and done. Trevor did start cutting away at the hood today, and tomorrow we're going to get all of the bracing and everything popped loose from under there. We heard a little trick for how to get that glue separated, so we're going to try that tomorrow. Other than that, that's pretty much where we stand. As you saw, the truck started up and ran. Hood stack sounded good and sealed up like it should. Everything looked good. So anyways, tomorrow we're going to get back on it and continue knocking away at the list. And here goes the fender supports or crash bars or whatever you want to call them that come out of the front. Like I said, those are the ones that, as I showed, they come out under the fender there and over here. And with the fenders off, it makes it extremely nice to work on. So, you know, as I've shown y'all before, we got the quick connects for the front bumper. Kind of started brainstorming. I think I've got some ideas on how we can get the fenders to be quick detached too. And with that being done, man, what I'm thinking I can do, we'll be able to get the fender off in just a matter of seconds, same way as the bumper. You could open the hood, the grill comes up with the hood, obviously. Bumper come off in about 10 seconds, fenders pop off in no time, and you'll be able to access everything. So we'll see what happens, but that's probably on my list of to-dos. But anyways, that's the wrap up day, and we'll touch base again tomorrow. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see y'all in the next video. Hopefully we'll have this thing done and ready to pull out of the shop. See y'all.